What's up, everybody? Oh my god, wait, that'll be the intro.
Whoa! Hi, guys.
Hi.
Welcome back. Or actually, this is going to be the introduction to our podcast.
Yes, this is going to be our first episode.
I'm actually excited. So originally, we filmed like another episode, but that's actually going to be coming out as episode 3. Just a heads up. But
I don't know if we're being conceited, but I found it super funny.
we were entertained by ourselves, you guys, and I think that says a lot. But like also
Yeah.
we're easily entertained. So
we just want the quality to be better. We know we could recreate that aura that we created that
yeah,
first
like
episode.
it was
so.
like the energy, like we got it. We
Yeah.
totally got it. And like yeah. But anyways, I'm Hunty.
And I'm Colie.
And if you guys want to learn a little bit more about our episodes and like what we're about, feel free to tune into our trailer episode and just tuning into us on social media. We've been posting a lot on TikTok. That's like our new, I feel like that's our jam right now. We're just having so much fun. Like it just feels so like healing our inner child vibes, you know?
Yeah. I started to not care what I looked like on social media.
Same.
Obviously, I don't want to make myself look bad, but
Yeah.
if I look ugly in a picture, a group picture with my friends, they could post it. Like, I know my
Yeah.
potential, guys.
No, okay, wait, that's like the craziest part because I feel like having this be like our podcast, I feel like how I look and how I act, it's just kind of like free. Like, there's no
Yeah.
judgment because it's like we're doing this together. Whereas like posting on like my main, I'm like, oh, it has to be so particular. I can't say certain things. But on this like podcast, I feel it's kind of like the real me, or like just like my. Yeah, just
So,
who I'm all about, you know?
We get to see our own energy radiating off of each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy to be here because this is something.
She's happy to be here.
I just love talking, and we would generally meet once a week to just yap. So might as well just record it. And
That
post
was
it.
that was literally our thing, like how this basically how this podcast started, you guys. So one day, so I had my other podcast, and I was like, one day I was like, oh my god, like I should have guests on, like let me know if you want to be a guest or something along those lines. And she said, like, she was like the first one to slide up, and I was just like, we're starting a podcast together. Like, no, like there's no questions asked. Like, I expect you to be there, like 9 a.m. Like we're clocking in. No, but we always do our Sunday resets, like, and so it was like, might as well, like, we have like the deepest talks about like all the things, like, so we were like, let's just create a little podcast and just film it, because why not? Like, let's just invite you guys to our conversation.
It's so funny because we could make anything dramatic. We could talk about a block of cheese and how it really affected the psychology of us meeting and everything, but
no, that's literally us. We find meaning into the littlest things, and you're gonna find that. Hopefully, you admire that, or you're gonna be probably annoyed by it. But either way, we love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tune in or tune in.
Tune in or tune out, but please tune in.
No, we command you.
No, we
command you.
We command you.
Ew. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so we're gonna start our episode just a little icebreaker. So something I'm wondering right now, Colie, is what are you currently like manifesting, or like things that you just like want to happen? Like, what are a couple of things?
Yeah. Well, so at the moment, it was actually a big manifestation day.
Mm-hmm.
My friend, her culture, they actually celebrate big on that, and just to bring good fortune and everything. I manifested 3 things, really. The first being my family's health and safety. I don't know, just very afraid of being alone, so keep them.
You love your family.
Keeping all my eggs in the basket.
No, for real. That's one thing about Colie, is she rides for her family, and I admire that so much. Like, she is like, she loves them.
And all my close friends have become family, so they're kind of too. But another thing is me just staying passionate about things that are true to me, and just continuing to be
just to feel passionate about it.
Yeah, and I don't know. I forgot the last one, but I'll just say those 2.
Yeah, those are honestly really good 2 ones. I love the first one just because that just shows Colie, like, her personality and like what she stands for. Like, she cares about the people in her life. And then like even like the second part, I feel like I relate a lot to just like continuing that passion, because I feel like when I'm like a very passionate person, and I think you are too, and I feel like that's where I find a lot of meaning to life. Like, that's where I just find more like life's worth living. Like a lot, you know what I mean? Like it's where it's like I get to like hyperfixate on things that like this podcast. Like this is definitely a big passion, or just like doing social media. Maybe it's just like fashion, like little things like that. Like I love going above and beyond and just being super passionate about it. And so I feel like that kind of relates to my manifestation, which is really just like wanting just to feel more comfortable in my creativity, or just like how I do things like on social media. Like honestly, like I feel like there's a lot of the times like on social media and then just like in my real life where I judge myself, you know? So I'm really wanting to like outgrow that and just be more like myself and my like creative things that I put out there, you know?
I feel like that's something we'll definitely accomplish this year.
I feel so too.
Especially, that is amazing.
Thank you.
You're a very like creative, artistic person, and I feel like you've shown me a lot of like old stuff you've done with art, like dance thing. Like you show me videos, I'm like, where is this on the internet? Everyone needs to see this.
Thank you.
But he's just like, oh, like what?
Stop.
I'm shy. I'm literally shy.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Colie.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
love that.
Thank
yeah,
you.
so those are pretty good things I feel like that we're both manifesting right now. And I think both of those are definitely, I feel good vibes with it. I feel like we have a good aura, good energy going on. Which kind of leads me to our next segment, which this one I need to pull out my laptop because
this would be our You've Got Mail segment. So
this would be
we just receive mail and we kind of just give advice. We want to link it so we could it's an anonymous site, so anyone could put input and we could count that as mail and just give advice during that segment. But at the moment, we've just been kind of finding random scenarios as if someone wanted our advice on it.
In case you guys wanted our opinion on these things. Like right now, I'm just kind of running to Reddit just to get people's like personal experiences and things like that.
Yeah.
But in the future, I'm kind of hoping that we have something where like you guys can just tune in and just be like, you want our advice on like something, like a situation. Maybe it's like you're dealing with like a friendship and need advice about X, Y, and Z. Like, feel free to just put that in and we'd love to put our 2 cents in there.
Exactly.
Okay, so here is the first one. So the first one is, how do you know if they're flirting with me? And I want to know, how do you think like someone's flirting with you? How do you know?
Well, I don't think I could give advice on that because I was told I was either a really, really friendly person or a really, really flirty person. Because usually my intentions, if I intend to flirt, I will not flirt good. But if I'm being really friendly, that's counted as flirting.
Yeah. So
I don't know. It's happened so many times where I've given mixed signals and like everything. The moment I do like someone and I try to flirt, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
It's just not hitting the same.
So, I don't know.
I really sounded better in my head.
Okay, you go. Okay. I don't know.
I guess for me, it's more of like an energy thing that's unspoken.
Yeah.
I think I know when someone's flirting with me when I can just kind of like look into their eyes and I see intention. I see energy. Like, it's about reading the aura. You know what I mean? It's like when you know, you know. And if you're like questioning it, I think couple of things are probably happening. Number one, you could potentially just be overthinking the situation, which is making it worse.
Or you could be catching feelings, and that's the truth.
Yeah. Which exactly what catching feelings, so then you're overthinking of being like, can this be?
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? So exactly on that. But I think you kind of know. When you know, it's like a gut feeling. And if you're just like very unsure, just like reflect a little bit more. Like get out of that overthinking and just be in the moment.
Also recognize, yes, it's flirting. Yes, it might not be flirting. But how does it make you feel? And how are you going to act on that? Because what if you really do enjoy the flirting? Yeah. You know, then flirt back. And then it could spiral to true love.
Exactly. Like I feel like this episode is really going to be centered about being yourself and just be authentic. Like, if you feel a certain way, do it. Just be yourself. Just don't, like, question, you know?
That's something I'm fighting real hard. But, like... forever since birth. But I think this podcast was such a huge step for me because I was just so scared of people thinking I want to be like a wannabe or be something. Or I don't know, like just thinking I don't want people to think I'm being egotistical starting a podcast because I said, like you'll see everyone says not everyone deserves a podcast, but I genuinely like laughing and talking and documenting anything and everything, so I think our talks are fun.
I literally can wait. Bouncing off of that, I feel like that's kind of like a big thing that a lot of us feel. It's like kind of imposter syndrome in a way of just being like, oh, like, I don't think I should be, like, worthy of having this. Yeah. Which I felt like with this, too, because it's, like, it's a push. Having a podcast, like, obviously, there's a lot that goes into it, and it's very personal, and, like, it's sometimes scary to have people perceive you. Yeah. But, you know, like, that's just kind of, like, life. And I think something that you can take from just how we're feeling is that, like, even though we're scared, we're still doing it. And if you're scared to do something, just do it, and you just never know what's going to happen from it.
Yeah, like, you know? If the opportunity is in front of you, and you have the privilege, if you have the privilege of taking it, take it. Because if that door is open, walk through it.
Walk through it.
One day it'll be locked, someone will forget the key, and you will never experience it.
Exactly. That part.
Exactly. I don't know if that
analogy made sense, but I don't know how we got there. I got it. I understood, but I don't even know because the question was, how do we know if they're flirting with me? And we ended with that.
You're kidding. That one's crazy.
I don't know how that's how we operate, you guys. I don't know either. I don't know.
I think
we just got it though. I was on the same wavelength. Like I understood what you were going with.
Yeah, but if they're flirting,
you'll know. It's an energy.
Yeah, like you'll create that tension and it might feel sexual, so.
Yeah, so go for it.
Just set that boundary if you like it or not. And then if you like it, then I guess pursue it. If you don't, set that boundary saying, hey, is this what I think it means? If it is, let's talk it through.
Exactly. Because if it doesn't matter, then just like, no, never mind.
Yeah.
Let's
move on.
Let's move on next
That was good. That was good, though, even though it wasn't answering the question at first, but it was amazing.
That's okay. We ate that. Okay, next question is, what is your advice on always craving attention? Do you ever feel like there's, like, times where you crave, like, not, like, in an egotistical type of way of just being, like, you want to feel seen? Or that's what I got from that question.
So I think for me, how I would handle that is do I want the attention or do I want how it feels to get attention? And that means like some sort of affection and love. So I would just give myself all the attention instead of begging 10 people for 10% of their attention. So I give that all to myself, do a lot of self-love, self-care, do things that I like, and be in communities that make me feel welcome in the environment. So like I like going to the bookstore. I love all the reader pops there. So yeah, I love the energy there, and I just feel myself. Good.
Yeah, like that is like right on the money. I completely agree with that one because if you feel like you're constantly craving attention, then that means there's probably a disconnect with yourself. Yeah. Because now you're looking to everything external rather than internal. When we have all the answers, kind of like within ourselves. It's all about just tapping into that and just being like bringing yourself back. Like bringing yourself back because you've been so focused on everything out there, which is normal because there's a lot going on out there. But our jobs are to just really like reel it back in and really like focus on yourself, being like, okay, I think you could be giving yourself more attention. I think that's the reality. It's just you are just focusing too much on the external rather than this is your life. You can decide what you want to do right now, like for you. You know?
Oh my gosh. I don't know why I just connected it with wanting attention is literally letting validation, like that need for validation spiral. Because the more I loved myself, I noticed, the less I cared about what people thought about me.
Right.
So the more I yearned and sought out validation from people, there was a ratio of people that didn't give any validation to giving validation. And I would just kind of seek more to confirm if I deserved validation or not, if that makes sense.
No, I got that. Yeah.
So that was a good question.
Right? Like, I feel like that was actually a good one, and I wasn't sure how we were going to answer that, but I think that was honestly great advice. Like, just bring yourself back to center, you guys.
Yeah.
Period. Okay, and this is the last little piece of advice that we're going to answer, but the question is, how do you not care? Like, what are some steps that you take to just, like, not care? This could be, like, not caring about what people think about you, like however you want to take that. But
I think I personally go by the rule that wait, let me think, because I have the answer, but to not caring, I think just knowing that everything you do is with good intention, whether that be to benefit yourself or people around you, like everything was done with good intention. And usually people's reaction are just a reflection about how they feel about themselves. So if someone's just mad hating for something that you did and that you loved, then that's just on them. Like, it's nothing you did because you did everything with good intention not to draw that kind of energy. So just block it out.
Yeah.
And just know, like, step back and just look at why you wanted to do those actions and, like, why do you want them to care type of thing. Like, I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that does.
Cut out the last part.
I think it really is just kind of like the same answer as the last question. It's really just, again, like, if you feel like you're caring so much about how people perceive you, it's, again, you're so focused on the external, which is so easy to do, like I keep saying, because it is, like, it's a normal thing to just, like, you get distracted, like, because I feel like that's, like, at least for me, I feel like in, like, my self-love journey, it's when I start, like, kind of focusing too much on, like, everyone else's opinions and things like that, which is, like, a cycle that I always repeat, but I always overcome it. But I know that there comes a point where it's, like, there's a point where I come back to me and I'm so focused on myself of just, like, I can, like, not go on my phone all day and I'm just, like, so content with myself. And then there's a point where I'm just so focused on, like, what everyone else is, like, thinking of me. And so for me, it's just kind of, like, reminding myself that there's a cycle. So when I think, like, how not to care, just know that it's normal to go through the cycle. Like, there's an end to it. There's a beginning to it. There's going to be an end. And you're going to learn more on the journey and everything. But then there's going to be times where a new obstacle comes. But just know that that's part of the journey. Like, it's going to come. But, like, there's also going to be a point where you're overcoming it. You know?
Yeah, I liked that.
Yeah, thank you. I was, like, saying that out loud, and I was like, wait, that part ate, though. That kind of ate.
I think this advice I gave earlier, kind of, like, validation snowballs, I think that just applies to anything, really. Kind of, like, self-love. It gets easier to love yourself if you practice a lot of self-love. Yeah. So it'll get easier to not care about things in people if you just practice to not, you know? Just kind of, like try to notice when you start to care and be like, okay, but why does that opinion matter to me more than my own?
Exactly. It's just, like, the awareness of just, like, questioning your thoughts rather than just believing they're true. You know what I mean?
And,
like,
oh, wait, no. You go.
No. Like, what were you going to say from that?
And it's just, like, an exercise that helped me was that if you were a different person, like, if I wanted to buy cotton candy, put it in the perspective of if my friend wanted to buy cotton candy, would I judge them for that?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, because that's so true.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, that sounded like a question. Like, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So that's our 2 cents on that, you guys.
Yeah, I like that.
I love that. I feel like those are actually really good questions, and they were kind of surface level, but we went deep into that, and I love that for us. Okay, so our next little segment is after that, you know, I'm kind of drained. And so I think we need a little cigarette break. I think we need to take a 10 and let's take a little sip.
So this is kind of just where we brain rot. We just talk about the most random stuff that don't really have a category.
Yeah,
it could be
like
anything and everything.
Anything and everything and all the above. Thank you. So
this is our junk drawer of thoughts.
This is the junk drawer of thoughts.
Yeah. Junk drawer thoughts.
Yeah. No, okay. This one's actually it's kind of another type of question, but, like, what do you do to relax? Like, what do you do? Whoa.
I'm just kidding. Okay, no, that's gonna come off weird. Don't, like, I meant cut, like, let me think.
Wait.
Oh, okay, you answer the question first.
Okay.
Like, mine's nothing interesting.
Mine? Ooh, I love a good Sunday reset. That is relaxing to me, even though it's, like, a lot of work. Sometimes it relaxes me at the very end when I go, like, to lay down. But if I do the full routine, like, it's so good. So, like, I usually will start, obviously, with just, like, cleaning. Like, Isaac and I will just, like, kind of deep clean the apartment. And then right after, we do, like, the full Sunday reset. So that means, like, whitening your teeth, like, doing a full shave, like, exfoliating, potentially taking a bath, like, conditioning the hair, like, all of that. You know what I mean? Just full, like, everything shower.
Yeah.
And then just, like, going to bed after that. I sleep like a
Chef
baby.
Kisses.
Like, that is how I relax.
And I'm gonna have to copy your answer. I would say I have to do my laundry once a week.
Yes.
I have to dust my room, sweep my room, light my favorite candle, get into bed, and watch a movie I've seen 100 times. I cannot watch a new movie because the plot cannot stress me out. If it stresses me out, that won't be a good night.
That's true. Because sometimes you'll, like, hyperfixate on it, and it's just,
like, something I could just not think and just enjoy. Like The Parent Trap. So watch that movie.
Yeah, the Parent Trap is so good. I love that one. It eats.
Should I call out my twin? She's British though.
Let her.
Hello, everybody. Oh no! Get back
out.
in the closet.
Get out.
Get in the closet. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So sorry.
Okay, you guys. So honestly, I'm putting the cigarette out. I think
Cigarette break over.
Okay, so the next thing is we're just gonna be diving in deep into shallow waters.
Yes, and I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, I don't think we really need to elaborate, but do you want to elaborate?
Yes, I can. So kind of just like a general question, like a shallow thought. People that don't really dive deep into it, or we can, but we are diving deep into shallow thoughts.
Yeah.
Or you could view it as shallow thoughts, or or deep thoughts with shallow opinions. That'll be our most controversial segment we have. So, come on, get to the question.
The suspense you had me on, I was like, what is she going to say next?
I'm just so stupid.
No, you're so smart. You're so smart. Okay, so this question is basically just kind of an overall theme of today's episode of just kind of like the advice and everything.
Yeah.
But I just had just kind of like this hyperfixation on like being myself. Again, I was kind of talking about it. Like, I just want to be like, that's what I really want to manifest. It's just like being my authentic self. Because I feel like I'm always, sometimes like on the media, I'm so quick to like focus so much on the external, which is like kind of the idea of like I care a little bit. I'm in that cycle right now.
Yeah.
And but what would you say, like what advice would you give to like how do you just be yourself? Like how do you do it with just like no cares in the world? Like I just want to pick your brain on that.
I think you got to know what you want and just be selfish and express yourself through that way. Mm-hmm. You know, I love when people are doing something they're passionate about because no one can bring them down with it. You know?
That's so true.
Why would you why would you want to dim someone's sparkle who's like shining so bright? That's just so selfish of you.
That part.
Like, if that's you trying to dim someone's light, that's a you problem. That's you trying to, like, make them feel less than they feel.
Yeah, so, it's like, look in the mirror. Like, definitely look in the mirror. I really agree on that because I think I am so quick. Because, like, I don't know if this would be considered, like, a victim mentality, like, headspace or what. But sometimes I, like, automatically think people are judging me, like, harshly, like, negatively. Like, not even, like, in a positive way at all. And I'm so quick to jump to that, like, I don't know. It's just, like, sometimes it's, like, really hard for me to kind of, like, jump that hurdle or, like, overcome that because I'm so focused on, like, the what ifs they're, like, saying this, what if they're thinking this, you know what I mean? So, like, the idea of, like, being myself, sometimes it's so hard to kind of, like, jump that hurdle, you know?
And I struggled with that for so long. My only advice to anyone really who is going through that, if they could relate, is that, okay, but think about if that was true, what can you do about it? Exactly. There's nothing you can do. Like, they're their own thoughts and opinions.
You got me gagged with that one.
You cannot change them if they think that. Like, but
true.
What you can do is change your environment. You are who you hang out with. You are who you surround yourself with. Just change the environment because you'll walk into a community who will accept you for acting like that.
Wait, I like needed this advice. Suddenly, I'm like, yes, no, period.
But yeah, so you could definitely do that. I honestly, I kept my friendship circle so small, and I don't think my mental health has ever been better. I think I was just someone who was always constantly seeking validation and realizing that I could give myself that validation. And what about it? And I think also this is just kind of like another thought that I was just thinking while you're saying that is the idea that we're constantly seeking. It's really all about validation. We just want to be seen. And I think that's what I maybe feeling is just like the disconnect of just like I want to feel valid and I want people to see me in like a positive light or like you know X, Y, and Z. And I think that also will stem probably from childhood too. Like now I'm like thinking about it now of being like, oh, like that's probably why is maybe just like how things like I don't know, like how my childhood was or like one thing or another where it's like, oh, maybe that's I just always wanted to seek validation to get like the approval, which I feel like is a lot of kids, you know, just wanting the like approval from I don't know, just like your parents and things like that. And it's hard because especially when you have very healthy relationship with your families, but you can't help but feel like you wish you'd gotten more attention because trust me, I have 2 dogs And I stress about it all the time if I'm giving them the same amount of love and evening it out.
Yeah.
I can't imagine birthing children and being in my parents' shoes of worrying about the bills to pay and that. My kids overthinking things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
it's really hard. Like, it's so easy to be empathetic, but very hard to acknowledge your own feelings.
Yeah.
And, like, accepting that. You're okay for feeling that way, but you have to understand the situation and show how much empathy you want to give to that.
We need to have more empathy for ourselves. Like, I feel like a lot of us are really hard on ourselves. So, like, when we focus so much on other people, we're so just focused on the idea of just all, like, everyone else's opinions but our own. But,
exactly.
Like, you need to have more empathy because your thoughts matter, your opinion matters, and you should be prioritizing that.
Yeah.
In, I would say, 90% of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's the 10% where you're, like, catering to other people, but, like, most of the time you should be, like, writing for yourself. Like, you know what I mean?
Because at the end of the day, everyone has the power to leave you or not, which is really scary because you're probably going to think about someone you really love when you're listening to this and be like, oh my God, they can't leave me.
Yeah, like,
but
you're never going.
Everyone has, like, the power to leave you in your life, Something natural could happen, an accident can happen, or the relationship will just die. But at the end of the day, you'll always 100% have yourself.
Yeah,
in these situations.
Like, totally. And I think it just, again, bringing it back to the self-love, like, that is, like, the connection you have with yourself, I feel like is kind of the secret sauce of it all in life.
Yeah.
Because if you got your back, like, that's really all you really, really need. Like, obviously, everything else is just, like, a sprinkle on top of making life more fun and exciting and more enjoyable. But you got you. Like, don't worry. Like,
Make decisions that make you happy.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to go to bed reminiscing about your day or stuff that happened years ago, and you're going to think, did I really enjoy that memory? Or did I only enjoy it because people around me were enjoying it and I had to force myself?
That part. Yeah. Like, literally just stay true to you. I think that's, like, final thoughts of just kind of, like, everything in this episode is really just...
They kind of meshed together.
They really did. And I think, like, my takeaways is just, again, really just focus on communicating more with yourself and understanding that you have a lot more control in, like, how you think than you actually think you do. Like, you do have a little bit more than you're thinking in this moment, and that you just gotta, like, ride for yourself. Like, put yourself on, like, a pedestal in a way of, like, in a non-egotistical way.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, just love yourself, boo.
Yeah. Make sure the intentions are good. And then if the intentions are good and you did everything in your control, then don't worry.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Just relax. Just enjoy life. Take a step back and just enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's the tea. And that's the tea. But anyways, you guys, I think we gotta go. But I just want to say thank you for tuning in. This is episode 1.
Thank you. This is officially episode 1.
And I am so excited. We have so many conversations that we're gonna talk about. So definitely tune in every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is perfect time to just get your little food and just be iPad kids and watch our little podcast. And definitely leave us comments down below if there's, like, any topics you want us to talk about, like anything. Like, we'd love to hear from you.
Even if we don't know it, we'll do the research.
We will do the research for you.
Someone's like, please explain.
I'm like, it's like something we can't. We're like, whoa.
Just kidding. Just kidding. That's so... No, let's not talk about that, actually.
I'm scared.
My sister's back.
Wait, what?
The British accent, that was her. Did you not hear her?
Oh, I got scared.
I was like, oh my gosh, Hunter and I got so scared today because we were telling ghost stories about elevators, and then the elevator malfunctioned, and then it opened.
No, you guys,
we were so scared.
It was actually kind of scary because basically what was happening is, so we work at the same company but, like, different, like, locations. So today we actually got to work together, and so she was giving me a tour of everything, and all of a sudden the elevator, she clicked the button, and it was just like, I kept clicking it, and I was like, it's literally not going. And then it was, like, malfunctioning, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
you heard
oh, shoot. Yeah, and then she was just like, oh, my gosh, yeah, there's a ghost here. And I was like, bitch, what? And then,
yeah, because my coworker had a scary ghost encounter, and I was scared to use the elevator. I used the stairs for 6 floors.
No, literally, and then all of a sudden, the elevator just opens, the door opens. And I was like, what? Because it literally told us to use the next elevator. Because there's, like, one, and then there's another one. And I was like, use the next one. But
what anyways. It's like Coraline, and we're in the other world.
Oh my gosh, and we never came back.
It's a song about Coraline. Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye, you guys. We'll see you next week. Love you. Don't forget to follow the socials.
Bye.
Anxiety After Hours Pod, and we love you.
Pardon the USA. USA! USA!